No slasher franchise is safe from the requel trend. I swear to you, none of them are safe. I Know What You Did Last Summer has one now, and we're going to review it. Let's go. I Know What You Did Last Summer stars Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr., and is directed by Jennifer Caitlin Robinson. Actually, Jennifer Caton Robinson. My bad.
Whoever's doing this.
What is up, guys? Welcome to a brand new 2025 review. It sounded like I was down on the current requel trend in the intro, but I just love a good slasher. I don't care what you want to call it, sequel, requel, prequel, remake. Just give me a good slasher with certain criteria that you need in slasher movies, and I'm happy. I'm a happy camper. This is not a camp slasher. This is a coastal slasher, I guess you could say. It's Southport, South Carolina. This is I Know What You Did Last Summer. I've never been like crazy goo goo gaga over I Know What You Did Last Summer. It seems like they always are $1 short, a day late compared to Scream. You know, the original was, what would have happened if this would have been before Scream 5? That's a good topic. Does Scream have to exist for I Know What You Did Last Summer to exist? And the movies, I think most people would say they're kind of your discount Scream. That's not to say that I don't have my problems with the Scream franchise, especially the later movies, because I definitely do. And I might even say that maybe we're a little hard on the I Know series, because I think the first two movies are every bit as good as Scream. Is that controversial? And I think this movie right here might be better than Scream 5 and Scream 6. It just might be, because there were things about those two movies that irked the shit out of me. Check out those reviews. But let's get into this review. Let's give you a quick plot synopsis. And by the way, like any slasher, whodunit slasher, you know that there's going to be major spoilers. I'm going to be very careful, okay? Especially in that final act. There are some nice surprises in this movie, okay? But let's set the table. Same story as the first movie. You have, let's say, a group of young people that have this terrible accident where this guy, because they're arguing in the middle of the road, a very hilly, dangerous road, which that's where you want to have arguments, right? But this person in this truck drives out of nowhere and ends up falling off over a cliff. And so they decide, because one of them has a rich father, we need to cover this up. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you watch a movie like this, you're going to ask yourself, what would I do in this situation? And that's part of the fun of these movies, because people do really stupid shit, okay? Because I even caught myself, I was like, wait, I don't think they, I don't think they would do that, because they wouldn't get in that much trouble if they just went to the police. But human nature, and these are young people barely out of their teen years. And my point is, you don't know how idiots are going to react. And I don't want to say idiots, because teenagers, they don't know as much as we know, right? And if they're in a situation like this, and let's say they never dealt with the cops before, and maybe they watch TV and they think that cops do the worst things ever. Maybe they think they're going to be in an interrogation room for overnight. Who knows? So I can't fault the story here. This shit does happen. People are naive. I don't want to say stupid, but yeah, stupid people exist. And so we get slasher movies out of it, okay? And part of the fun of slasher movies is watching stupid people get killed. And stupid people do get killed every day, people. So then we fast forward a year, because it's called I Know What You Did Last Summer. That's not a spoiler, okay? Because if I said last summer, that's 1 year. Okay, there are idiots in my comments that will say you spoiled it because it takes place 1 year. No, I didn't. It's called Last Summer. I love my comment section. I love it so much. But then we all know what happens. The fisherman comes, and the person in the slicker starts killing off people one by one. I have to say person, because if I say he, the natural inclination is to say he when you're talking about a fisherman. It could be a male, it could be a female. Who knows? It could be 5 people killing people. That's the fun of these whodunit slasher movies. And also the fun is that the first time you watch any whodunit is going to be different than every other time you watch it down the line. But you will rewatch these movies. That's the fun thing about franchise slashers. We can't get enough of them, and we will rewatch them over and over and over again. Now, let's dive into the characters. Like I said in the out-of-theater reaction, I don't talk, about the characters except for the overarching, did I like them or did I not? I did actually like the younger characters. They did try to put a little meat on the bone as far as the writing department. No, you're not going to be walking away from this thinking, oh my God, this person, I want a side quest with this character. No, you're not going to have that at all. But I will say, one thing I did like about this movie is that you don't really know who the final girl or final guy of this movie is going to be. And I love when they do that. They don't prop up one character. Kind of like they did in the first movie. Julie James is sort of propped up because Jennifer Love Hewitt was kind of the it girl at the time. And so you kind of got the idea, like Neve Campbell, that she's going to be the final girl. These young actors in this movie, none of them are big right now. At least I've never seen any of them, and I like that. I like going into this, seeing fresh faces, and kind of picking, it could be either this person or this person that's going to be the final. But what I will tell you is there are 2 characters that I really liked quite a bit that are strong characters, important characters in the movie. Ava and Danica. And both those characters I think are equally strong. So you're going to be either rooting for one or the other, and you're not going to be pissed off if one of them dies and the other one lives and vice versa. You know what I mean? You'll be satisfied if one of them or both of them happens to live by the end of the movie. I try to confuse my audience so that way if they think I might throw out some little hints, you're going to be frustrated with me by the end of the review because I ramble all over the place, and then you don't know what the hell to believe. And that's kind of how I have to approach these types of movies. I have to throw off the scent. Did you get it? I'm throwing off the scent, okay? It's over there. I'm having fun with this review. Okay, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr. They are the big legacy characters returning to this. They do have a nice, ample amount of screen time. They are important to the story, thank God. They're not just glorified cameos. They have a big stake in what is going on. If you've seen the trailer, you know that the characters, they go to Julie and say, hey, you've dealt with this before. What do we do? And yeah, of course, that is predictable. This is a script that writes itself, okay? You can't help but go this route. But having said that, when we do get into the third act, get ready for some nice surprises. Some stuff that you would not see coming whatsoever. And I can't really go into some of my concerns because they do have to do with the final act. And I will say right now, what they did in the final act, I'll say this, at face value, it's very entertaining what happens in the final act. But if you start kind of digging into it and trying to maybe decipher, would this person do this? Then you start getting into a little bit of trouble. You start picking things apart. And I can't tell you really anything. I'm trying to be very, very careful. I can't wait to get to the spoiler review so I can really dive deep, because you could have a good conversation about what goes on in the final act of this movie. And just by me saying all this, you're probably like, oh, now I really kind of want to see this. I'll just say this movie does take risks, and I think that's really cool about I Know What You Did Last Summer. Going into the cons, were they things I didn't like about the movie? I think it is sort of generic at times. I do think, the kills, although there is one kill sequence or reveal that I loved. I thought, wow, that's great. That's enjoyable. Taking advantage of the whole coastal setting and, of course, the hook as a weapon. They do take advantage of the hook, okay? And I think the hook is one of the weapons that I do find quite squeamish when I just even think about the damage that can be done with it. And they take advantage of that for sure. It's definitely an R-rated movie. And one other thing I like to talk about with like slasher movies, usually these days it seems like they don't get risque with the characters, making out, stuff like that. There's some of that in this movie. Not to say that there's like nudity or anything, but they do try to get a little spicy, I guess you could say. And that might not be important to you at all in slasher movies, but it was an ingredient in the 80s that we often welcomed. So I think there's a little bit of that in this. There are characters that I have avoided mentioning, and I will save them for the spoiler review. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have went out and seen this movie, so let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments. I'm looking forward to hearing them. I hope I didn't give away anything in the review. I don't think I did. It is good to see Jennifer Love Hewitt back. Julie James is, I think, an underrated character. And let me know what you guys thought of her. Did she give you enough in this movie, or did you want more? Curious to hear your thoughts. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day, and on Fridays we do FIFA on Fridays. Follow my Drumdums on my social, support me on Patreon, become a channel member, buy me a coffee. You know, guys, thank you so much for watching. Every day, Drumdum out.